On a cold February evening in 2026, the atmosphere surrounding the reported disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother felt heavy with unanswered questions. Public updates had slowed, official statements were cautious, and speculation was beginning to outpace verified information. In moments like this, silence can feel louder than headlines. Yet, amid that uncertainty, a different kind of conversation was unfolding far from cameras and breaking news banners. At 86, veteran journalist Tom Brokaw reportedly gathered a small circle of trusted friends at his home in New York. There were no microphones, no formal remarks, and no attempt to generate attention. What he shared was not about investigation details or dramatic revelations. Instead, it was something quieter and more personal, a reflection on character, resilience, and the invisible emotional architecture that shapes how someone endures crisis under the brightest possible spotlight. A private reflection, not a public accusation. It is important to be clear. There was no verified expose, no confirmed secret confession, and no official statement altering the public record. What Brokaw reportedly offered was perspective, not proof. He spoke as someone who had known Savannah Guthrie for years, having watched her rise through the demanding corridors of broadcast journalism. Their professional paths intersected during her early years at NBC, long before she became a familiar morning presence to millions. According to those familiar with his remarks, Brokaw did not criticize, accuse, or sensationalize. He reflected on the way Savannah carries herself in public, measured, composed, deliberate, and how that composure may have deep roots in her upbringing. In a media landscape hungry for shock value, his tone was said to be thoughtful, almost protective. It was less about drama and more about understanding. Growing up in strength, Brokaw's reflections centered on Savannah's late mother, Nancy, a woman described as strong, disciplined, and deeply committed to raising resilient children after personal hardship. There was no suggestion of cruelty, only the recognition of a parenting philosophy shaped by survival and responsibility. According to those recounting the conversation, Brokaw observed that Savannah seemed to internalize a powerful lesson early in life. Emotions are private, composure is public. For some families, strength is demonstrated through tenderness. For others, it is shown through steadiness. In Savannah's case, Brokaw suggested, steadiness became a defining trait. He recalled moments from her early career when pressure mounted, deadlines loomed, or public scrutiny intensified. Even then, she rarely appeared shaken. That consistency, he implied, was not accidental. It was learned, practiced, and deeply ingrained long before television audiences ever knew her name. The language of composure. In times of crisis, people reveal different coping mechanisms. Some seek comfort openly, others retreat inward and focus on tasks. Observers have noted that Savannah's public statements during this period were structured, clear, and calm. She thanked supporters, acknowledged concern, and expressed hope without visible panic. Brokaw reportedly viewed this not as detachment but as discipline. For decades, broadcast journalism has demanded clarity under pressure, especially on programs like Today, where millions begin their mornings. Savannah built her career on being prepared, precise, and steady. Brokaw suggested that the same training guiding her through political interviews and breaking news segments may now be guiding her through personal difficulty. It is not that she feels less. It may be that she was taught to process privately and present strength publicly, a distinction many high-achieving professionals quietly understand. The weight of expectation. Brokaw's reflections also touched on the invisible weight that can accompany lifelong expectations. In many families, love is intertwined with achievement, responsibility, and endurance. That does not make the love absent. It simply means it is expressed through standards and accountability. According to those present, Brokaw wondered aloud whether Savannah sometimes feels compelled to remain unshakable because that is the language of strength she learned early. This is not an uncommon dynamic. Children raised in disciplined households often become adults who measure themselves by composure and competence. When life tests them, they instinctively reach for control. Brokaw did not frame this as weakness or damage. Rather, he described it as conditioning, an emotional muscle built over decades. In a moment when many expect visible grief, her steadiness may simply be the only way she knows how to stand upright. Public persona and private reality. One of the most difficult aspects of being a public figure is the collapse of boundaries between private pain and public perception. Savannah's role on national television places her in millions of homes daily. Viewers feel familiarity, even intimacy, with her presence, yet familiarity does not equal full access. Brokaw reportedly reminded his small audience that television captures performance, not the entirety of a person. What audiences see is often the most controlled version of reality. He reflected on the discipline required to anchor major broadcasts during wars, national tragedies, and political upheavals. Composure is not indifference, it is responsibility. Savannah learned that same craft. The ability to speak clearly when emotions run high is part of the job description. In moments of personal crisis, that professional instinct does not simply disappear. It can become both shield and burden at the same time. The human cost of being unbreakable. Brokaw's most poignant observation, according to those present, was that resilience can sometimes feel isolating. When someone becomes known for strength, others may forget they are also allowed fragility. He reportedly shared memories of seeing Savannah moved by personal events, moments when her guard lowered briefly before she composed herself again. Those glimpses, he suggested, revealed how deeply she feels, even if she rarely lingers in visible vulnerability. The expectation to remain steady can become internalized, turning into a silent rule: do not fall apart. Yet grief, fear, and uncertainty do not disappear simply because they are managed. They exist beneath the surface. Brokaw's tone, as described, was not critical but compassionate. He seemed to hope that regardless of outcomes, Savannah would one day feel permitted to express emotion without believing it compromises her strength. Beyond headlines and speculation, in an age of rapid social media reaction, it is easy for narratives to become exaggerated or distorted. Brokaw reportedly urged restraint and empathy. The situation surrounding Savannah's mother remains a matter for investigators and family, not commentators seeking attention. What he offered was not a new theory or hidden detail, but a reminder of humanity. Public figures are often reduced to headlines, yet they carry history shaped by family, mentors, and formative lessons. Savannah's story, as he framed it, is not solely about a crisis. It is about a daughter navigating extraordinary stress while standing in a role that demands composure. The broader lesson, perhaps, is about how we interpret strength. Calm does not equal lack of feeling. Control does not mean absence of fear. Sometimes it simply means someone is holding themselves together the only way they know how. A hope for compassion. As the days unfold and updates continue through official channels, it is worth remembering that behind every news cycle is a family waiting, hoping, and enduring uncertainty. Brokaw's reflections, private, measured, and rooted in years of observation, highlight something rarely discussed: the emotional inheritance we carry from childhood into adulthood. Savannah Guthrie is not just a television anchor. She is a daughter shaped by lessons about resilience and responsibility. Whether events resolve swiftly or stretch on, the human dimension remains central. Strength can be admirable, but so can vulnerability. Perhaps the quiet hope expressed that evening in New York was simple: that no matter what happens, she will know she does not have to earn love through perfection. In times of crisis, compassion, extended without speculation, may be the most powerful response of all.